Security warning for official use only. All individuals handling this information are required to protect it from unauthorized disclosure. This information should be disseminated on a need-to-know basis via controlled media, CD, mobile hard drive, paper, etc. Do not transmit this material via any unsecured email network. This document is a product of Critical Solutions International. It is not for public use, but is intended for use by authorized personnel. This information is not to be released without written authorization from Critical Solutions International. Destroy this material when no longer needed.
At the conclusion of this class, you'll be knowledgeable on how to safely and properly perform preventive maintenance checks and services, PMCS, on the Husky 2G. Safety. When performing PMCS or other routine checks, observe all warnings and cautions. A list of warnings is located in the warning summary of the operator manual. Familiarize yourself with the warning and cautions before performing maintenance or work on the Husky 2G. Safety is paramount. A warning means personnel could be injured. A caution means equipment could be damaged. Refer to Husky 2G Operator Manual for additional information and procedures. Husky 2G Technical Bulletin for container PMCS instructions. Warning: high voltage is used. The Husky 2G utilizes a 24-volt DC electrical system. Care must be taken and caution must be exercised when performing on or around areas where the electrical system could be a factor. Familiarize yourself with the vehicle before performing maintenance or work on the Husky 2G. 5 levels of operator PMCS. B. Before operation. PMCS must be completed before you operate or use the equipment for its intended use. D. During operation. PMCS must be performed during operation or using the equipment for its intended mission, as long as the checks and services are safe for the operator to perform and do not interfere with the mission. A. After operation. PMCS must be performed immediately after operation of the equipment. W. Weekly. PMCS must be performed at least once per week. If the equipment has not been used within a week's interval, then perform weekly PMCS before operation of the vehicle. M. Monthly. PMCS must be performed at least once per month and will include a complete inventory of the equipment. If the equipment has not been used within a month's interval, perform after operation PMCS along with routine monthly maintenance. PMCS definitions. Leakage classification. Class 1. Seepage of fluid is indicated by wetness or discoloration, not great enough to form drops. Class 2. Leakage of fluid great enough to form drops, but not enough to cause drops to drip from the item being checked. Class 3. Leakage of fluid great enough to form drops. Checked equipment is classified as not mission ready if a Class 3 leak exists. Maintenance procedures. Routine check. Cleaning, dusting, washing. Checking for loose or chipped paint. Check for damaged or frayed cables. Storing items not in use. Checking for loose nuts, bolts, and screws that are not listed in PMCS. Maintenance procedures continued. Continuous operation. If the equipment is in continuous operation, check and service those items that can be checked and serviced without disturbing vehicle operation. Perform the complete list of applicable checks and services when the equipment is not in use. Defects and deficiencies. Any defect or deficiency that cannot be corrected must be reported to higher maintenance personnel. Inspection. Inspect bolts, clamps, screws, and nuts for looseness. Inspect chip paint, bare metal, rust or corrosion around bolts and screw heads and around nuts. Lubricate and/or repair areas noted as necessary. If tools are not available, notify unit maintenance. Welds. Some components of the equipment are welded. To inspect for welds, look for chip paint, rust, cracks, gaps. Electrical wires. Tighten loose connectors and harnesses. To inspect wiring, look for cracked welding, broken wiring, insulation damage, bare wires, broken connectors. Hoses and fluid lines. Tighten loose fittings. To inspect hoses and fluid lines, look for wear, damage, leaks. Ensure clamps and fittings are tight. Wet spots indicate a leak. A stain by a fitting or connector can also mean a leak. If any of the above conditions are observed, notify unit maintenance. PMCS table. Item number. Column 1. The item number identifies the checks and services in the order they are to be performed. Column 2. Interval. Interval provides the frequency the checks or services should be performed. Interval codes for operator maintenance are B, before operation, D, during operation, A, after operation, W, weekly, M, monthly. Column 3. Items to be checked or serviced. Identifies a section of the system to be inspected, checked, or serviced. Column 4. Procedure. This provides the steps for performing the checks and services. Column 5. Equipment not ready available if. This column contains criteria which cause the equipment to be classified as not ready, not available, because of the inability to perform its primary mission. If the severity of the problem is such that the operator thinks the vehicle cannot be operated, the operator should notify field maintenance. PMCS walk-around procedure. Refer to the operator level PMCS for the Husky 2G. Use the PMCS walk-around to complete PMCS. The following visual aid shows a general path an operator will follow to complete PMCS, starting the PMCS at the rear bumper and completing checks in a clockwise direction.